What's up, guys? It's your girl Sabby. I am back again. I've got another leg routine for you guys today. I was considering putting up an ab workout, but I am training legs today, so I figured you get what you get, you know? Incorporate a couple different exercises in this one so that you get kind of like a different variety, and you guys have options. If you watched my last killer leg routine, then you know this one will be just as intense. So I hope you're ready. I'm getting my protein in right now. I'm giving myself some energy for my workout. Just a quick salad with a hefty portion of chicken for my protein. Some cucumbers and like a honey vinaigrette dressing. It's pretty solid, so I'm gonna give myself some credit. But I am also drinking my BCAAs right now while I eat my lunch, and then I'll finish it like throughout my workout, just so that afterwards my legs hopefully don't feel like noodles. I hope they still do. No pain, no gain. But I just wanted to show you the brand that I'm using right now in case you guys are, curious to try different ones. I currently am using Extend, and I'm using the flavor citrus passion fruit. So if you know me, you know my favorite flavor for anything is passion fruit. I will say though, it was a little disappointing because when I got it, it didn't taste exactly like passion fruit. It's got like a hint of it in there, but overall, like, the flavor is good. It gets the job done, so I can't complain. And it's a pretty decent, like, size. I know a lot of the BCAAs are typically smaller, and they don't have as many servings, but this one's a pretty good size. I can't recall what I paid for it. I get my products at GNC, or my supplements. So just check out GNC. I know if you become a member, you get a lot of good discounts. But as far as my favorite brand of BCAAs goes, BPI Sports is definitely my number one. They have just really great flavor profiles, tons of different ones. They have like a mango madness or something, and it's fire. But probably my go-to as far as flavors goes. But otherwise, like Extend, BPI, they all pretty much work the same as far as getting the job done goes. So I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to finish this food, and I'm gonna go get thick. Who's with me? So let's get it. Okay, so first things first, I always like to start off with activators, like I mentioned in my last video. If you did not watch that one, I'll kind of briefly explain it just because, you should just go watch it. But activators are simply exercises that are going to get your muscles working. It's going to kind of get them ready. Kind of like a pregame, to all my alcoholics who like to take a couple shots before they go downtown and really drink. That's what we're doing for our muscles now. So just gonna do some rainbows, and then I'm going to do some, I guess, kneeling squats, I guess you could call it. I don't really know the name for them. There's a lot of exercises I don't really know the name to. I just do them. So as long as I do them right, I guess it doesn't really matter if I know the name. Let's just get to it. But using my resistance band, of course, if you guys have not gotten a pair or like a set yet, you can check out, again, my last killer leg routine, or obviously I will link the bands in my description box below for this video. Now we're gonna get into the kneeling squats, whatever you want to call them, knees to toes, whatever. I really don't know. I don't really care. And then I'm gonna alternate between those for 2 more sets. So I'm gonna do a total of 3 sets, 10 reps each exercise and per leg. So let's get it. That's 1, 2, 9, 10. Back to rainbows. Changed my mind. Glutes are activated. We're doing 2 sets. We are not doing 3. Oh my God. Okay, so finished with our warm-up, I am going to be moving into the actual routine of my workout right now. So we're going to start off with sumo squats. I decided that since I don't have that much equipment to work with, fortunately enough, I have some, but I don't have like as many weights or like the equivalent to what I'm used to lifting here at my house. So I'm going to work with what I have. And for the lack of weights, I'm going to implement a higher set and rep. I have a kettlebell that's 15 pounds. I have a dumbbell that's about 20. And then I have a straight barbell. It's an Olympic barbell, so it's a little bit smaller. And roughly it's probably like 50 pounds altogether with the weights and the barbell itself. So for the lack of weights, like I said, I typically lift a little bit heavier, but I am going to make do with what I have. So I'll show you these sumo squats using the 3 different pieces of equipment that I have, obviously, so you guys have like a different variety, or you see what you can work with if you have any of these. If you don't, obviously you can use your body weight, it'll work just as well. But I would definitely encourage recommending I would definitely recommend upping your sets and reps as well without overdoing it. So before I get to rambling on again and fighting a mosquito in my video, let's get to it. So I'm starting off with the kettlebell initially. It is the lightest weight out of the 3 different pieces of equipment I'm using. In that case, I'm going to be doing higher reps with this one. So I decided to do 15 to 20 and just make sure that your feet are more than shoulder width apart. This allows for you to have greater depth in this exercise, which is really important. And don't forget to squeeze when you get to the top. My friend Mono taught me, or he just always said when we worked out together, that on my last rep, he'd always be like, last one, best one. So a lot of times people tend to hit their last rep and they're just like, okay, I'm done. No, like follow through with it, do it just as well as you did your first rep. Last one's gotta count, you know? Okay, I'm gonna take like a 20-second pause and then we'll do the dumbbell sumo squats next. Okay, so we're going to get into the dumbbell. So I would typically hold the dumbbell by the plate, but I don't trust that, and I'm not trying to have it drop on my foot, so I'm gonna try to hold it like by the center. Might be a pain, but like I said, work with what you got. So I said I'd do 15 reps of the sumo squats with the dumbbell. So again, I'm gonna put my feet further than shoulder width apart so I can get a very deep stretch for this exercise. Another tip for this one, put your toes facing outwards. So instead of having them straight in, make sure that they're faced outwards. Not like dramatically, obviously, you don't want to look like a penguin, but this also will kind of help guide your knees to go out instead of trying to push in and lock in. If anybody struggles with that, I know when I used to squat, I used to have that issue. And just by moving them out just a tad bit to where your toes are pointed outwards, it almost forces your knees to go that direction. So enough talking, I'm just trying to excuse myself from actually doing this set. So let's get it, 15. It's like a little side note, but it's a really good tip for those of you who are beginners in the workout game, because I just know far too many people who have pulled their backs from deadlifting, especially of all exercises, and I'm just looking out for my people. So I just thought that was a really important tip to share, to make sure that everybody has their back engaged and not to hunch over, because it can cause a strain to the muscles in your back. So just be aware of that. So I obviously have gotten into the 3rd round of my deadlifts or sumo squats with the barbell, and I'm going to only be doing 10 to 12 reps of these, as I did 15 and 20 of the other 2. And then just another quick note, don't mind my mouth moving in this next video. It doesn't match with what I'm saying, but I was basically demonstrating hand placement when it comes to deadlifts or sumo squats. A lot of people typically have questions on this, and I personally choose to put my hands facing opposite directions. This kind of prevents my wrists from rolling out and causing any pain later on. But truthfully, it's up to you however you feel most comfortable placing your hands. All right, so on to the next exercise. I decided to do some hip thrusts, glute bridges, whatever you want to call them, same thing. I incorporated the resistance band again to kind of give myself a little bit more of a challenge for the lack of weights, but I am still incorporating the barbell as well. And I'm just making sure that it is sitting right in the crevice of my thigh and my hips. And just making sure that I really squeeze when I get to the top and to push all the way through when I hit the bottom. Don't let your butt hit the floor itself, but get as close as you can and then shoot right back up, so it's one motion. For this particular exercise, I chose to do 5 sets of 12 reps, but again, you are slowing down that eccentric phase and then shooting right back up and squeezing at the top. Okay, so I just finished the 5th set of the hip thrust. I'm now going to do some quad extensions. I'm going to do single leg quad extensions just because, again, like, I don't have as much weight to work with, so I'm going to challenge myself as much as possible. Quick little fitness tip, so I have like a 5-second break in between the next exercise. If you guys paid attention to my most recent fitness Q&A video, you'll notice that there was a question asking how to build your muscle faster. And one of the tips that I gave you guys was to slow your eccentric phase of any exercise that you're doing. So for that specific exercise itself, when you are in your like tabletop position, when you lower yourself, that's going to be your eccentric phase, and when you're bringing your body back up, that's the concentric phase. So I used the band as well as the barbell, so those are different types of resistance or added weight that I was using. And that's a little bit of a challenge itself. But by going slow in this eccentric phase, these mosquitoes are ridiculous. By going slow in this eccentric phase, you're challenging your muscles to maintain that weight or that band or just the pressure itself as you're lowering. You're not going to lower like that, but as you're lowering. So then you want to come up quick again so that your body doesn't get to the point where it's like, okay, we're lowering. Okay, we're there, relax. No, you want to keep that momentum. You want to keep it as a single motion. So you want to lower during the eccentric phase and go slow, and then bring it back up quick during the concentric phase so that your body's ready to go for another set or another rep. And then I also incorporated a pause in between each rep. And then this was another way to challenge my muscles, because as I lowered my body, you're getting to the point where your body's going to think, okay, it's going to rest. No, we're coming right back up for that next one. And then by pausing, you're giving your body a little bit of a challenge to hold or maintain that position, that weight, that pressure from the band, to then only challenge it more as you lower and go slow once again. So that's just a little quick tip for you guys. I think that was 2 minutes of a rest, so let's get to our quad extensions. So I'm hoping that you guys will be able to see me demonstrate the slow eccentric phase and the quick concentric phase in this exercise, just as I mentioned before. It's kind of hard to tell just because I'm doing this exercise single-leggedly and that weight is pretty heavy for one leg. But again, hopefully you guys can tell I am doing 3 sets of 10 reps per leg. Showing you guys an alternative way to do hamstring curls if you don't have as much equipment, if you're doing this at home. And then of course, if you don't have like a bench or like a bar rack or whatever like I do, this is an alternative way that's only using ankle weights and a longer resistance band. This one actually I think is called an assistance band. It's typically used to do like pull-ups and give yourself a little bit of assistance when you're doing them. So if you try to look them up online, I'd probably type in assistance band and it might give you this first. You don't have to use the weights, the ankle weights. I just prefer to use them to give myself a little bit more work. But you can do this exercise alone with just the band. So I'm gonna show you how I do it. And just find something sturdy enough, like a pole, a table leg. Just make sure that the table is heavy enough to withstand you pulling against it. You're going to loop it around the table itself, just like this. And then you're going to take the shorter side and put it through. And then you're going to pull on it. Ooh. So pull this side through all the way so that it tightens it. So another little added bonus to using ankle weights in this exercise for me personally is just that it kind of provides a little pocket to set that assistance band in, and that way it doesn't release and fling back, hitting someone or something in the face. But for this exercise, you want to kind of army crawl out far enough from the table so that when you're laying flat and your legs are even in like an obtuse triangle position, they feel the resistance. And then that way when you do the actual exercise, you really get a good burn. I went ahead and did 3 sets of 15 for these. So that was the routine itself. I'm just finishing off with some donkey kicks. I decided to leave out the resistance band just because I'm doing this as a cool down as opposed to an activator this time. So by leaving out the resistance band, I am allowing myself to have kind of like a fuller range of motion, and it's going to feel more of like a stretch than a resistance kind of, putting a challenge on my muscles to get them activated. So I just went ahead and finished off with 3 sets of 10 per leg. I am dead. So I finished the majority of my BCAAs. I didn't finish the whole thing though, so I'm going to do that really fast before I go inside, just to kind of help reduce the feeling of being fatigued, and then that way my legs don't feel like jello tomorrow, even though they probably still will. That workout killed me, as you can tell by the glistening sweat on my face. I'm gonna go shower too so that I don't clog my pores. Skin tip 101. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Once again, comment down below if you have any questions about any of the exercises in this particular video, or if you have any further questions about working out in general. If you have suggestions for any other videos, whether they're workout related or not, leave those in the comments below as well. And until next time, stay hustling and stay humble.